In the NBA Finals since 1971, when a team is up by 9 or more points with 3 minutes left to go in the game, it has been deemed impossible to come out with a win. And wouldn't you know it, the Indiana Pacers showed that it was possible, making themselves the only team to ever overcome that deficit in the NBA Finals. This team genuinely just doesn't make any sense. Every single time where they seem like they're in a game that they just cannot win, they still win it. This is now the 4th time just this postseason where the Pacers have literally cheated death. 97.9, 95.9, 99.7, and 96.4 are all percentages the opposing teams had to win the game with 3 minutes or less. And Indy has a 100% win rate against those odds. It doesn't matter who the opponent is, nor does it matter what stage they're playing on. They did it in the first round, in the second round, the third round, and now they did it in the NBA Finals against the best team in the league. If you were to look up the definition of never giving up, I think a picture of the Indiana Pacers should be right there. I don't think it gets any closer than that. Anytime that it seems like the odds are just so much out of their favor that it doesn't even seem like they have a chance at winning the game, they just push through, grind it out, and they win that thing. The mentality of every single player on that Pacers team is the exact same, and it's just this extremely rare short-term memory mentality. Anytime down the stretch where they're in these situations that seem impossible, they don't even care what the situation is. They know what it is, but they just don't care. There can be situations where the opponent hits a huge shot and puts them in this deficit that basically gives the feeling like they already lost the game. But to them, they just made a shot, and they don't care about who made the shot, how big a shot it was. They only care about the next play. They get the ball inbounds, go back on the other end, and score a bucket. And it's as if the previous basket just didn't even happen. It's like that previous possession didn't exist because they have already moved on. When they're in these deficits with such little time, all they see is, we just gotta score that many points in this much time. They don't even think about the odds at all. And for some reason, when they're in the clutch and in these impossible situations, they somehow manage to gain shooting abilities, scoring abilities to a superhuman level. And while other teams get tight in these moments, they somehow appear to be more free than they ever are in the entire game. They raise their level of play when they're losing with no time left. It's almost gotten to a point where you don't even want to be leading towards the end of the game. Crazy to say that, I know. But if you aren't up by 30 with a minute left in the game, you might just lose to the Indiana Pacers. They are showing everyone what it really looks like to be playing with absolutely zero pressure. There are no hard expectations on them because nobody even thought they would make it this far. They have been the underdogs in every single series. Even in the first round, when Damian Lillard was going to come back, people had the Bucks winning that series. In the second round against the number 1 seeded Cleveland Cavaliers, the Pacers were obviously not going to be the favorites against the number 1 Cavs, but they still won that. Then in the conference finals, the Knicks were also the favorites in that series, and the Pacers won that as well. And obviously now in the finals, when you have a team as good as the Thunder are, obviously the Pacers aren't going to be the favorites, and yet they still just stole game 1 in Oklahoma in what seems to be the normal game for the Indiana Pacers at this point. But this story just gets better and better, because the guy that's leading this Indiana team just so happens to be the guy that was voted the most overrated player in the league. A guy that no one wants to give this superstar title to, a guy that isn't going to give you these explosive numbers, and yet he is still delivering iconic playoff moments in every single round. This dude has given you either a game winner or game tying shot in every single round of the playoffs.
5 seconds, 4 seconds, Haliburton for the lead. Miles gonna let him play. Haliburton steps back and hits.
He'll backpedal a 3 for the win and
Haliburton driving, pulls up, jump shot. It's good! It's good! With 0.3 of a second remaining. Timeout, OKC. Tyrese Haliburton does it again.
If you're looking for a definition of clutch, Tyrese Haliburton has been it so far. He has been so clutch that it almost doesn't even make any sense. Think about this for reference. On go-ahead or game-tying shots in the playoffs in the last 5 seconds, LeBron James has a total of 8 shots in his 22-year career. Tyrese Haliburton has 4 in a span of 17 games. How is that even possible?
Halfway.
Now, obviously this is only one game, and this series isn't anywhere close to being over, and I don't expect the Thunder to just lay down and give up. But it's hard to see a game where the Pacers play much worse than they already did in Game 1. They had 20 turnovers in the first half alone, the most turnovers in any single half in the entire season. Keep in mind, over the last 2 seasons, the Thunder have never lost a game while forcing 22 or more turnovers. A 22-0 record to be specific. And out of those 22 wins, 13 of those have been at least 20-point wins, and 5 have been at least 30-point wins. The Pacers had 25 turnovers in Game 1, and they still won. So basically, the Indiana Pacers overcome the impossible and ruin perfect records. Not a bad thing to be known for, to be quite honest. But what do you guys think? Do you think the Thunder will bounce back and take Game 2, or will Indiana shock the world for a second straight time and steal 2 games on the road? Let me know in the comments down below, and
overrate that.
Tyrese Haliburton has gone mad. Haliburton, 2 on the clock. 3, got it. He'll backpedal a 3 for the